And we're on. Hey, everybody, it's Brandy Clark again, not coming to you from Instagram because we've had so many snafus, but my good friend Lindsay Ell was kind enough to record this with me on Zoom, and then I think it'll go live on YouTube. But before we started recording, we were talking about Instagram has been something else. Have you been having a time with it?
I really have been having a time with it. I think just because so many people are jumping on and doing lives, and maybe it's not used to the bandwidth of everybody going live at once, especially in the evening hours when a lot of lives happen. And so, yeah, I've been having a lot of problems too, where it just freezes and you don't know what to do.
Well, and I think it's worse when you try to invite somebody in.
Yes.
And I start getting messages like, this only happens on yours. This doesn't happen on anybody else.
No.
So I'm like,
I was on a live with the radio station where the whole screen, or my whole screen, was black, where it was like pixelated. It looked like when your TV has like that rainbow of colors.
Oh yeah.
No service. I don't know. It just looked so messed up. So I don't know what causes it, but
Yeah. So how many weeks are we into this quarantine now?
Girl, I think this is day 34 for me.
Wow.
So going on the 5th week, I think.
Yeah. So what's been, I think everybody's kind of hitting the point where it's getting really hard.
Yeah.
What's been the best thing you've gotten out of it?
I've definitely learned that I'm not really good at slowing down.
Mm-hmm.
I'm used to touring so much and being on the road so much that having to stay home and not leave home is so weird. And there are wonderful things that come out of it, like getting to sleep for 8 hours and getting to cook in my kitchen. Like, I don't normally get to do those things even. So that has probably been the best, just being able to like take a slight step back and being like, okay, let's just figure out how to live a normal life for a minute amongst all the chaos.
Yeah.
How about you?
Well, I think a lot of, I'll tell you one really positive for me is it's given me a different appreciation for certain things. Like, I have never been someone who loves social media. Like, I've always felt like I've only seen the negative parts of it. But this has it's changed my relationship with it because it's a real connector. Like, I've never really seen that part of it. And just because I've chosen not to. And that's something I'll take from this going forward, is it's a way to really connect with people. And then it's hard. I mean, because I noticed for me, the weekends are harder than the weekdays because we have things like this. And I've been doing writes this way. This is my room that I write in and exercise in. You can see the little exercise.
I love it. Look at you go. I love it.
Yeah, I've also been quarantine eating a lot, which has been
Yeah, me too. I feel like I'm just staying at like I'm not losing any weight. I'm not gaining any weight. I'm just staying like this. And I've been working out hard.
I have been working out hard, but I've also been like late night binge eating. And I woke up, this is no lie, I woke up the other morning because I'm on Pacific time. Mm-hmm. And it's hard, I've been on Central Time for so many years. It's hard to really get your body out of where you're at. So I'll wake up at like 3:30 here. Oof. And the other morning I woke up and I was like so disgusted with myself that I joined Weight Watchers. I was like, okay. And I've been a Weight Watcher member at different times in my life. And I'll get to this point where I'm like, I don't want to go to a meeting. I don't need a meeting. And I woke up at 3:30 the other morning and sort of had this come to Jesus with myself of like, okay, maybe you need to go to a meeting. Even if, it's this kind of a meeting, but you need to go to a meeting,
Do they have Zoom?
Oh, yeah.
Really?
They do. Amazing. Yeah, they do. I mean, I haven't attended one yet, but I've joined. Yeah. I have my first one later this week. And I love a good Weight Watcher meeting, so I can't even imagine via Zoom.
Me too. I used to go to them with my mom when I was really, really little because I just want to go with her. And you walk out of that place being like, yeah, I'm going to get all the snacks that I can for 2 points. I don't know if they still have the point system.
Oh, yeah, they do.
Okay. I loved that. I would help like my mom plan out everything in her whole week. And I do it with her because I just thought it was fun.
it's a good program. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not here to sell Weight Watchers. I would not be who they chooses their spokesperson. And I always
brought to you by.
I always get mad at them because they change it up. You know, I'll be like, damn it, I just bought all the books and now they've changed it. And so
true.
Yeah. Well, I could talk about Weight Watchers and all that for hours, but I would love to talk about some music with you. This would be the part of the stream where people are saying, play a song.
I know, right? Stop talking. They say that to me too.
I was thinking about your single and I wanted to talk about it for a minute because it's so funny to me. I never get in like Twitter battles. It takes a lot for me to, because I just know that that's what somebody wants is for you to just engage with them. So I try not to do that when people tweet mean things at me or mean things about somebody else. But there was this tweet and I saw it because I was tagged in it and it said, Lindsay Ell, I don't love you. And I was so mad and I was like, just
I love you.
And then I thought, before I sent this like scathing, paint peeling off the walls language, I thought, wait a second, that's Lindsay's single.
I love you so much for having my back. I can always depend on my Brandy.
I did, but I'm glad I stopped myself because I would have looked like a total ass. I mean, it was some poor guy was just tweeting how he loved your single.
Sometimes the internet trolls need to be put in their place. But in this case, yeah, I think it was good intended.
Yes. So I'd love it if you want to play that.
I would love to. By the way, I think Brandy and I have the same guitar.
Actually, the John Mayer model, which is I love so much.
We're twinning. Yeah.
Such a good guitar.
All right, this is I Don't Love You.
Inside?
What is it?
You have a number inside, like mine's number 503.
Oh my gosh, yours is so fancy. Mine is 1940.
Okay, so there were 1,400 of these made after mine before yours. I love that about mine.
Yeah, I know. I love this guitar so much. I didn't even go into the store wanting to buy this guitar. I walked in and, you pick up guitars off the wall and I just was like, this one spoke to me. It just sounds, it's so beautiful. We're also not trying to sell Martin guitars, but we're just speaking about the things we love. Okay, this is I Don't Love You. I don't open up a bottle with my dinner 'cause I know that it's just gonna sit out on the counter and go bad just like the leftovers you decide to leave at the restaurant I don't go to anymore 'cause I won't go alone. So I pick up, take out, and sit at home. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, no. I don't love you anymore. But I still miss you sometimes. My old Stevie Wonder records sit on the shelf there while the gathering dust like the movies we would spend our late nights getting lost in. And I got so much free time on my hands 'cause I don't do the things we did 'cause they're not as good without someone to share them with. I don't love you, baby. I don't love you, no. I don't love you anymore. But I still miss you sometimes. don't love you. I don't love you anymore, but I don't love you, baby. I don't love you. I don't love you anymore, but I still miss you sometimes. I still miss you.
Gorgeous, 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 gorgeous.
I never know if I'm singing too loud for these speakers in the phone.
You know, I mean, I think going loud's probably better. I don't know either.
True that.
Yeah, I mean, I'll just get things that say, we can't hear you. Or, you know, so
Good point.
louder the better.
Yeah.
So when this whole thing started, you were in the middle of working on a record, right? Or
I
probably
was, yeah.
It.
So my producer, Dan Huff, and I are finishing it remotely.
Oh, good for you. Good for you.
And so thankfully, the day before Nashville kind of went into quarantine, we tracked the last band sessions for the record.
Okay.
And so we were able to get the last 4 songs done as far as the band recording in the studio. And then I've just been recording my vocals and guitar parts and sending them to Dan, to his studio in his house, and he's been working his magic, and then he'll send them back to me and I'll sing and play more. And so it's crazy, you know, talking about embracing social media, also embracing technology and being like, wow, you can actually record a record completely not being in the same room from each other.
Totally. Yeah, no, and I think that, you know, who knows how long this is going to go on, but I think we're going to see a lot of records made that way.
I agree. And who knows? I mean, it's definitely creativity in a different way, you know, like you said, doing Zoom writes and stuff. It's just learning how to do our jobs from a completely different perspective that we never have before. I've been trying to write a lot more 100%ers.
Good for you.
And it's not something that I do easily at all. In fact, I haven't finished 100%er fully by myself in years before this quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
But when we got to this quarantine, I was like, I'm going to write one every single week. And I'm just going to try to like give myself grace. If it's terrible, it's terrible. But I'm going to try to write 100%er every week. And so far, knock on wood, I've written one every week. So
good for you. See, I said the same thing. I was like, I need to get back to writing by myself. I haven't done as much of it. I'm going to do some of it this week. I've actually like blocked some time because that's what you have to do.
Totally what you have to do.
Yeah, you start to think, oh, I'll do that on my off day. But when you're co-writing 3 or 4 days a week, by the one day you have off, your brain is a pretzel. So I mean,
exactly. And in quarantine, I mean, I find I'm having to clean the house, and you know, you either go out and get groceries or you get them delivered, and then you need to wash all your groceries, and then you need to cook, and so it's like you have a lot of other living things to do that even I for sure wasn't used to having to do all the time, having, you know, being always on the road and traveling. And so sometimes your off day is just filled up with stuff like that.
Totally. Completely. So when this record, this record, if you don't want to talk about it, you don't have to.
We can talk about anything you want, my dear.
So what is this record to you? Like what's it shaping up to be?
So this record, and spoiler alert, Brandy wrote like 2 really badass songs with me.
I'm so excited about that part. I mean,
on the record.
I'm excited about those 2 songs.
I'm so grateful towards you and your brilliant heart and your brilliant brain. And I just appreciate you so much. But yes, this next record is really important to me. It's everything that I've been through in the past couple of years. I can't believe in August it'll be 3 years that I've had new music out, apart from
Uh-huh.
the Brantley single, but apart from my own record, it's been a minute. And in those 3 years, I've been through kind of a major breakup that some people may know about. I've also turned 30 last year. I finally got to the point in my life where I'm like, okay, who am I really? And what do I really want to do? And what do I really want my life to look like? And when you start asking those kind of questions, you go through like an emotional roller coaster. And I really want this record to be exactly top from bottom, like going through it, like feeling the 7 stages of grief, as they call it, like feeling the shock, feeling the denial, the anger, the bargaining, the loneliness, and then finally getting through to the other side, to the acceptance, like the upward turn of the acceptance and of really claiming who you are. I'm talking about things that I've never talked about in my childhood. Actually, the song that Brandy and I wrote together that is going to be one of the most special moments on this record. And so, yeah, I'm kind of getting pretty honest on this next one.
I love that. And I know that the song that song you're talking about, I was so blown away when we got together to write that you were willing to go to such vulnerable places, because, not everybody is. And I think right now, where the world is, we need truth more than ever.
I
And,
agree.
and I have a book club, and we were going to be doing it on the road. And since this, we've been doing it on Instagram. And our last 2 books have been Glennon Doyle books. And I didn't know.
Oh my gosh, I just finished reading Untamed.
Okay, so here's what's funny. We read Untamed first, and Glennon Doyle was one of those names that I had heard, like Jennifer Nettles would talk about, or different
Right.
people. She was kind of a Brene Brown sort of name.
Yeah.
But I didn't really know who she was. And I always let everybody else in the book club, it's voted on, whatever book gets the most votes is what we read.
Gotcha.
And so we read Untamed, and it really blew my mind. And then we decided to read Love Warrior.
Love Warrior. I haven't read that yet.
Well, see, and so we read them backwards. So it was fun. It was crazy. But what I find that's so like she's a magnet, and it's because she's really honest.
It is.
Even about ugly things.
Yeah.
So
That's when I feel you're most drawn to people, is when you can be honest about ugly things and about the parts of you that you're not always the most willing to share.
Yeah.
Because it doesn't necessarily paint you or your life or your choices or your decisions or what happened to you in the best light. That's so awesome. I love that you're in a book club. I love Untamed so much. I guess I need to read Love Warrior now.
Yeah, it's great. I mean, it's every bit as good as Untamed. You definitely see this progression, of how she went from, it's crazy because, she was married when she wrote Love Warrior. And so
right. I'm so curious to read it backwards too, because Untamed is like full self-realization.
Well, totally. And I was thinking about it because I was looking at the cover of Love Warrior, and it's Glennon Doyle Melton, which was her.
Right. Yeah.
Name. And so I thought, man, she lost. I mean, like if you look at both covers and then the next one's Glennon Doyle, it looks like she's lost something. But the truth is, she's gained so much. And to me, like when I read the Love Warrior thing, I mean, her and Craig, her husband, ex-husband now, that's a huge love story. I mean, that still goes on. Her and Abby, big love story.
Big love story.
But biggest love story is with herself. Like you see through these books, like when you go back to Love Warrior, how she has learned to love herself throughout her life. It's really
so beautiful, and it's so inspiring and encouraging in the same way, because it's like loving yourself isn't something that you all of a sudden one day wake up and you're like, okay, I love myself now, we're all good. Like it is a daily effort that you need to constantly show up for yourself and have grace to yourself. And yet, amidst the crazy careers that we aspire and dreams that we have, I mean, it's a thing to navigate through it. But yeah, she's so inspiring.
Yeah. You're right though. It is a daily choice to choose to love yourself.
Yeah.
For sure. Um, another thing I love to do on here is ask, ask you like, what's a song that made you want to write songs and have you play it?
Yeah.
And I mean, you did such an amazing thing with that John Mayer cover.
Thank you.
I thought that was great.
Yeah, my producer of my last record, Christian Bush, he asked me to record my favorite record, because it was before we had even gone into the studio to record my last album, and he was like, Lindsay, if you were stranded on a desert island and could only take one album with you, what would that be? And I was like, Continuum. I love that record front to back. I listen to it all the time. He's like, perfect. I want you to go record the whole thing, play every single instrument, you alone in your studio, you have 2 weeks, go.
Mm-hmm.
And I learned so much from that. It was fascinating, like studying music that you love and figuring out the elements that go into every single part of that song, whether it's little lyrics that you don't hear the same when you're having to recreate it and re-sing it, whether it's like little parts in the background or the way he plays certain guitar parts. It was just a very eye-opening experience. But I love John Mayer's songwriting a lot. But when I don't know, anytime I'm asked this question, it's like, oh, there's so many songs, but this is the first one that came to mind. So I'll sing a bit of this one for you. Looking out on morning rain, I used to feel so uninspired. And when I knew I had to face another day, Lord, it made me feel so tired. Before the day I met you, life was so unkind. You're the key to my peace of mind. 'Cause you make me feel, you make me feel, you make me feel like a natural woman. I love that song so much. And Carole King, man, I mean, Tapestry will always be one of those records that has inspired me as a songwriter.
Me too. I mean, I had chosen a different song because I always do a song every week that made me want to write songs.
Yes.
This one from Tapestry. And, I got to say, one thing that gets me through this quarantine is to watch Carole King's Instagram. Have you watched it?
No. Oh my gosh, I've been missing out.
You need to watch it.
Okay.
But I mean, everybody knows. Well, the other night, Tapestry is just a great record.
It's so great.
What did I do the other? Okay, so I'll play a little bit of this and then another song that when you're down and trouble and you need some love and care and nothing is going right. Close your eyes and think of me. Soon I will be there to brighten up even your darkest night. You just call out my name, and wherever I am, I'll come running, see you again. Wrong chord.
It's all good.
Winter, spring, summer, or fall, all you've got to do is call, and I'll be there. You've got a friend. Yeah, I think.
Yes, I love that song. I mean, to think so many, like, we're talking generational hits around one album.
I mean, my favorite of all time of hers is Will You Still Love Me Tomorrow?
Oh my gosh, yes.
I played that one a lot. That's on there. It's Too Late.
It's Too Late. Ugh.
It's, I think it's one of those records that we all aspire to make. Like you talk about continuum. I mean, it's a record. There's not a weak moment on it. In fact, there's not even anything close. There's not a good moment on it.
I know. I know. It's so true.
And I always forget that Natural Woman's on there.
I know, right?
It's, just.
You look at the track listing of that record and it's just like, my goodness. I mean, we all are blessed with so many gifts, but Miss Carole King, whew.
Yeah.
My goodness, that woman.
The other song I was thinking about, and I'll just play a little bit of this one, but might make you think of another song that you love that made you want to write songs.
Yeah.
I mean, I love to do a part in my set, just songs that made me want to write songs. Because I
love that.
Yeah. This one is definitely one of them. You give your hand to me, and then you say hello, and I can hardly speak. My heart is beating so, and anyone can tell. You think you know me well, but you don't know me. For you don't know the one who dreams of you at night, longs to kiss your lips, longs to hold you tight. To you I'm just a friend, that's all I've ever been, 'cause you don't know me. I never knew the art of making love, though my heart aches with love for you. Afraid and shy, I let my chance go by, a chance that you might love me too. You give your hand to me, and then you say goodbye, and I watch you walk away beside the lucky guy. Oh, you will never know the one who loves me you so, 'cause you don't know me.
Yes, I love that you chose that song. I love that song so much.
I mean, somebody told me a long time ago, it was actually not told just to me, it was told to a room full of people, but Brett Mayer, who has done a lot of things, I mean, the biggest thing he did in my heart was produce the Judds, and he wrote a lot of songs for them, but with them and for them, but he said that if a song is great, it can be done in any style. And he also said the most important line in the song is the first line. And that line, if you think you give your hand to me and then you say hello, like you want to hear what comes next.
Yeah.
And it's also one of those songs I said, I'll just play a little bit of it. You really can't not play the whole thing.
Honestly.
Like, you just have to keep going.
It's like a true poem, how it reads. Okay, I'll play one more. And gosh, I need to I don't even know if I remember the chords for these, but
you know what? I fake my way through all this.
Okay. When the rain is blowing in your face, and the whole world is on your case, I could offer you a warm embrace to make you feel my love. When the evening shadows and the stars appear, and there is no one there to dry your tears, I could hold you for a million years to make you feel my love. I feel that songs, like you said, that can be done in any genre, any style, so many different artists can cover them and still bring it to light. That's a great way to put it. Like, it truly shows the shape of a song or the strength of a song.
Well, and that song, when you started playing that, I can tell you exactly where it took me to, because I did not know the Bob Dylan version of that.
Mm-hmm.
When I saw Hope Floats, I had just moved to Nashville. I remember it was a hot day. It was a theater in Bellevue. And so in a dark movie theater, you hear that song. I remember it made me cry. And then I want to say there was a scene where Garth sang it, and then another scene where Trisha sang it. And both times it just, ugh. But the fact that I can remember that day because of that song, not just seeing it in the movie theater, but that it was hot, all these things, that's the mark of something that really gets inside your heart.
That's so beautiful. It's so beautiful how, like, points of your life you can remember because of a song. Mm-hmm. Like you said, you remember the weather, you remember where you were, you remember, it's incredible, like the power that music has when it connects with you that deeply.
Oh, and I think that's why all of us have chosen to do this. Mm-hmm. It hit us at a young age, and we just never got out of us.
It's so true. We got bit by the bug, whether we like it or not.
Yeah. Well, I know I've gone a little long, but I would love it if you played one more song to take us out, and even just a piece of a song.
Yeah.
You want to play, but thank you for doing this, and especially during this time. And I just, I'm thankful that you're in the world and making music. I'm thankful I've gotten to make music with you. I've gotten to tour with you on Next Women in the Country, and then we had
I know, that was so much fun.
I think a lot about, it was a little over a year ago now, but how fortunate we were, because we were part of the introducing Nashville to Australia, New Zealand, Japan. There's no way we could have done that. Like, we really are fortunate we got to do that when we did.
I think it even got canceled this year.
It did.
I mean, I guess every live music event has been canceled, but yeah, we were super, super fortunate. That was such a special time, and I'm always going to look back on those memories. I mean, we were able to bring country music to a lot of countries that don't get it a lot, and be able to share like what a writer's round looks like to them.
Totally.
Yeah. Totally. That was so cool.
It was great. I mean, we stayed in some hotels.
We stayed at random hotels across the world, y'all, in all shapes and sizes.
We've got it pretty good. That's what we figured out, or what I figured out. So
we are very, very lucky. We are very lucky. Well, I will leave us with a song. I wrote this with Travis Meadows. I remember moving to town, and it was just after I moved to Nashville, and I also will never forget it. We walked into Douglas Corner, and I didn't really know anybody. I didn't know anybody at that point, but I didn't even know who was playing. And I was just like, I'm going to go see a round. And Travis was on stage, and it was right around the time, I think, when Killing Uncle Buzzy, that EP came out.
Oh, such a great, if anybody on here doesn't have that, get Killing Uncle Buzzy. Get anything from Travis.
It's so good. He's just so talented and gifted. And I remember sitting in the audience that day being like, one day I will write with that man. I don't know when, but I will. And so I'll play you a little bit of the first song we wrote together. And it kind of is timely, I guess, with everything we're living through right now. It's called Worth the Wait. You keep saying that you ain't ready, so I keep hanging on. It's the same sad situation. I've been here and you've been gone. You keep selling hope, just like candy to a baby. And I keep falling further in, 'cause I keep hoping maybe it'll be worth the wait. Worth the wait, to push this heart beyond itself, way past what it should take. crazy, I'm crazy, but that's just what you do when you believe that it'll be worth the wait. Can't you see just what you got? Guess that makes you crazy too. I wish that I could climb that wall and fall right into you. You keep pushing up when I keep pulling down. Your love is like a ghost that I can't wrap my arms around, but it'll be worth the wait, worth the wait, to push this heart beyond itself, way past what it should take. I'm crazy, I'm crazy, but that's just what you do when you believe that it'll be worth the wait.
And I just want to say to everybody out there thinking about not staying at home, it'll be worth the wait to stay inside. Let this pass.
It will be worth the wait to stay inside. Yes. Moral of the story.
Thank you so much, Lindsay.
Thanks, Brandy. Love you so much.
Love you too.